This is Bits and Bobs with Kits and Bits and your host Lynette Delane.
Like, we found technology absolutely amazing. So I'm the youngest of 9 children. We have 12 in the next generation and 2, well, 3 now, but 2 at the time in the next generation after that. We have a wide extended audience. My mum, was a friend to everybody, and as I've said to many people, she had 220 of her closest friends at her funeral, and so people were really interested and they wanted to know and they wanted daily updates and things like that, particularly as things started declining, and to be able to communicate was just incredible. So we had a SMS group list, mailing list, so I was doing the predominant amount of caring at the actual hospital, and so I would just send that to my sister and say, this is what happened today, we spoke to the doctor here, this was the outcome, such and such has been to visit, this person's been in, that person's coming tomorrow, or, so we could manage visitors as well, because that started getting a bit, we'd have too many people at once, and so sending out that sort of global text message meant that everybody knew what was going on, who was going to be around. Oh, okay, well, it's quiet from this time to that time, I can pop in then. And that was absolutely incredible. It made such a difference. And so I would send it to my sister and then she would distribute it out to the group. And that group got wider and wider. So it started off with just, the immediate siblings, and then all the nieces and nephews were copied in as well, because they wanted to know straight away, not wait for mum and dad to pass it on, and then my cousin, and all of that started being added, and that was absolutely incredible. But then in the hospital we had as mum started declining, we had I would use music a lot, particularly at night when things were tougher and she'd be in pain and not be able to sleep. I would set up a YouTube playlist of her favourite hymns, or I would, bring in an iPod with songs that she loved and play that to her, because that seemed to calm her down. It would have been much harder to do that 20 years ago with a tape deck.
And even if you think the apps that we've got now for meditations and relaxation and breathing things and visualization. You could
absolutely. And I could see definitely whether my mum wasn't interested in that sort of stuff, but I could see from a younger person's perspective that would definitely be something that I'd be interested in. Then it was, we once we moved into palliative care, because we'd done a lot of funeral planning, or she'd already done a lot well before I got involved. We did the last little bit while she was still conscious and able to make decisions. She got to pick what reading she would have, all of those things. I was able to type them into my laptop by the side of the bed. All of that notes was already there. Then we, because we knew once we decided that we weren't continuing treatment, it was okay, well, there's going to be a funeral, rather than worrying about that afterwards when we're already in heavy grief. Let's start getting as much as we can. So, as people were coming in to visit mum, they'd bring a pile of photos on a USB. I'd dump them onto my laptop, give them the USB back, and, sit there, and we'd have the photos playing on the TV in the palliative care room. Not that mum could see, but we could see them, and we would sit and chat about them, and photos from 55, 60 years ago of my older siblings when they were little. And just that chatter, I think, around mum would have been very calming and consoling and comforting. So that was amazing. And then when it came to her actually passing away, we said, as part of the funeral planning to our entire family, there will be a media blackout. Now, that's something I would never have considered in the past, but I have seen, and you're saying about people finding out too early, I have seen people find out about a death on Facebook from someone who's not the immediate family, and to me that's just horrifying. It seems to be an indicate thing that perhaps our younger generation, that's how they do things, but even people who should know better, people who are older than me, who have gone, put a message to somebody, I'm sorry to hear about it. It's like, they might not have even told, there might be a cousin or a sibling or somebody in in another country that's in the middle of the night, and we haven't rung them yet. So we said to everyone, you do not put anything on Facebook, not even any photos, no teary faces, no emoticons, nothing. You don't put anything up until we have told all of the core people on the list. And we said, right, okay, and then we'll, what we decided to do, again, because there's 9 of us, majority of us were on Facebook, we decided we would do a group Facebook post regarding Mum's passing, and then also about the funeral. And that in itself was really quite an incredible experience. So we posted it from my elder sister's account, and then we all shared it across our Facebook feeds. And that alone was such an incredible experience, because we had all of these people who had touched, all of our different lives, that might be friends of friends, or, whatever, all jumping on going, oh, God, your mum was such an amazing woman, or, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Or, so, people that couldn't come to the funeral, that, might have been in the UK or over East or somewhere else, were able to offer all these condolences, but it was still under our control. It was on our terms. And that was really incredible as well. And then with the funeral notice, so many young people don't read death notices in the paper anymore.
I don't think many people do anymore. I think
most people don't get
with Facebook and all of that. People just put it all on Facebook now.
So we put the funeral notice on, and we were able to add more. So we still did a paper one because Mum was of that generation, but we were able to add more because it's per word. Not cheap in the paper. So, we could then add things like she wanted everyone to wear nice bright colours, and parking was going to be limited, and, all those things that we couldn't put in a tiny little 60-word funeral notice. So, we had some really amazing experiences with technology around Mum's passing. And I mean, she was 84. She didn't really like technology all that much. But
you said, it's the younger generations, it's the children. That's how we do it in our the children of
absolutely
and that generation is not happening.
That's right. But I mean, you go travelling anywhere now, and there's plenty of baby boomers and above with their iPads taking photos and capturing the grandkids and Skyping and all of that. So we were lucky in that everybody got to everybody close to her got to come and say goodbye in person, including my niece who lives in Karratha, and my brother had been travelling overseas and he got home and all of that. But we were able to make phone calls to some of her close friends that she didn't get to go home and see first. So that sort of stuff was really quite powerful. So
that all got to happen before it went to the bigger.
Thanks for joining me for Bits and Bobs, an interview series for new business owners looking to avoid the pitfalls that we who have gone before have either already fallen into and climbed out of, or managed to skip over altogether. Please subscribe and watch other episodes where I, along with other business owners, dive into some less talked about and sometimes tough subjects, highlighting some of those I wish I had known topics, so that you can get your business going faster and easier. You can find my guest details in the show notes or on my website, kitsandbits.com.au.